This is a night that we set aside to honor our seniors, and we'd like to start off by honoring the seniors from Lewis County High School. Our first senior, number 3, Abby Wright. Number 7, Caitlin Hamilton. Number 14, Abby Malone. And number 20, Sarah Weddington. And now let's introduce you to our seniors from Raceland High School. Number 10, Libby Porter. Libby's the daughter of Wayne and Rebecca Porter, being escorted this evening by her parents and her brother Jeff. Libby has played volleyball for 6 years. Her clubs and activities include West Virginia Galaxy Volleyball Club, Pep Club, TSA, and the track team. Libby's future plans are to play volleyball internationally and to create an organization helping children with diseases through physical activity. Libby's favorite memory of playing volleyball is when her and Eleanor were dancing and cheering every game when they were in 8th grade. Number 10, Libby Porter. Our next senior, number 20, Elizabeth Rigsby. Elizabeth is the daughter of Donnie and Sarah Rigsby, being escorted this evening by her parents and her sister Rayleigh. Elizabeth has played volleyball for 6 years. Her clubs and activities include the West Virginia Galaxy Volleyball Club, the Pep Club, and the FBLA. Elizabeth plans to major in elementary education and continue her volleyball career in college if she gets the chance. His favorite memory of playing volleyball is when we came back from Berea and Reagan peed in a Buc-ee's cup. She threw up out the window of the bus and beat Russell earlier this year. Number 20, Elizabeth Rigsby. Our next senior is number 33, Sophie Hale. Sophie is the daughter of Rob and Lori Hale. She's being escorted this evening by her parents, her brothers Will and Sam, and her pap, John Sargent. Sophie has played volleyball for 7 years. Her clubs and activities include the Beta Club, Key Club, FCA, TSA, FBLA, and she is a member of the track team. Sophie is active in her church youth group and serves on the Nazarene Youth International Council for the Nazarene Church. Sophie's future plans are to attend Mount Vernon Nazarene University and major in youth and family ministries. Sophie's favorite memory of playing volleyball was when she was in 7th grade and Kaylee Bates spent the last 20 minutes of practice helping her with her serve until she got it perfect. Sophie was so happy that she cried. Number 33, Sophie Hale. Our last senior, but certainly not least, number 34, Shayla Newman. Shayla is the daughter of Brian and Heather Newman, being escorted this evening by her parents, her brother, her sister, and her niece. Shayla has played volleyball for 2 years. Her clubs and activities include FBLA, Pep Club, and the track team. Shayla's future plans are to find a career that she enjoys doing that doesn't make going to work seem like a chore. Shayla's favorite memory of playing volleyball was beating Russell in the 5 gut-wrenching sets earlier this year. Number 34, Shayla Newman. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022-2023 Raceland Lady Ramp Volleyball Senior.
campus of Raceland Worthington High School. And good evening and welcome to the Palace here on the campus of Raceland Worthington High School. James Carey, happy to have you along with us here tonight on the Cool Hits Sports Network as we get you ready for 63rd District volleyball action. The Raceland Rams 21-9 bring in Lewis County 14-11. The district crown's on the line tonight. A win by the Rams, they're district champs. First time since 2016. That's the year they went 30-5. The backside of that, if Lewis County would knock off Raceland this evening, then we've got a tie at 4-2. And what you run into there is two teams at 4-2 that split. Bring your pocketbook, dig out the change purse, and we're going to flip a coin. And that'll what will determine the 63rd District champion. Senior night tonight for the Rams. They honor their 4 seniors, Olivia Porter, Elizabeth Rigsby, Sophie Hale, and Shaylin Newman. And had those just a little bit ago. So obviously the emotion always high when you're playing as a senior on your final time on your home floor. And, of course, those 4 seniors would love to go out on top tonight, pick up win number 22. Punching the 20-win season mark over at East Carter last week and trying to keep things rolling. They've got 2 games left in the regular season. They head to Elliott County tomorrow night and then wrap things up at Lawrence County on Thursday. For Lewis County, St. Pat tomorrow night on the road and then Fleming County on the road. They've played their last, well, they've not been home, to put it in a better respect. They've not been home since September the 27th. That was a straight set win over St. Pat. Then they went to Russell, beat the Red Devils in 3 straight, played at the Ashland Invitational over the first weekend of October. They went 1-3 in that contest and then defeated Greenup County on October 5th, last Tuesday. These two teams met up early in the season, back on August 23rd, up in Vanceburg. Raceland took that, but in straight sets, 25-22, 25-17, 25-18. Rams looking for their 3rd straight here tonight after a straight set win over Greenup County their last time out, in which they looked like they were going to be behind the 8 ball early on in set 1. They stormed from behind. They took the lead. Same thing in set 2. They left no doubt in set number 3 as they cruised to an easy victory and knocking off the Musketeers. A lot on the line tonight, as we've mentioned, as this one will decide the district championship. Rams controlling their own destiny. If they win here tonight, again, they'll be district champs. A loss, and we've got to get out the coins to flip it to decide who will be the number 1 seed in the upcoming 63rd District volleyball tournament. That will take place up in Vanceburg in, I believe it's next week, actually, because we'll wrap things up. Yeah, wrap things up this weekend. District tournament will be the week after that. And then regional tournament over to Ashland. We'll have the coverage of the semifinals and the finals from Ashland High School and right here on Cool TV. Well, as the two teams have finished up their warm-ups, and we're ready for the national anthem. We'll step aside for a break. When we return, it's time for volleyball. It's Raceland and Lewis County for the 63rd District crown. And the action is coming to you right after this on the Cool Hits Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
When you have business away from home or a planned event far from your comfort zone, you're probably going to need a little help. Let A&A Porta Potties assist you with all your portable toilet needs. Whether on a construction site, planning for an outdoor wedding, or any other outdoor event, A&A Porta Potties are here to assist you. A&A Porta Potties also rents out storage containers, office containers, cooling fans, tables, and chairs. A&A Porta Potties, there is no event too big or too small for us to accommodate you.
Back here at the Palace, James Carey, happy to have you along with us here tonight as we get you ready for 63rd District volleyball action. It's like we're having a standoff between the two teams. We just had the national anthem. Now we're waiting for somebody to move. Actually, they're waiting for the horn so that they can go do it. There we go. Now we get the signal from the official. Yeah, there's so many odd things that you run into with the game of volleyball. And that is one of them. You have to wait before an official to give you a whistle before you can go and shake hands. They always shake hands before the match. So tonight, Lewis County in the black jerseys with the blue numerals outlined in white. They'll be on the left of your screen. Raceland in the orange and black tops on the right of your screen. Senior night for the Rams. Looking for win number 22 in a district crown tonight. That's what's on the line here for the senior night 2022. Reagan Mackey will be in the white jersey tonight. She's the libero for the Rams. As you see her coming on your screen off to the bench, checking in for Faith Spurlock. And the libero for the Lions is Kaya Noble. Now, you may say, what the heck's a libero? Well, a libero has a very special tasks that they do. They're considered usually one of your better or best passers on the team. They work a lot from the back row, but they can come forward past that white line that's up there near the front of the net. They just cannot attack from inside that line. They can attack from behind it, but not inside of it. So there's your story about your libero. All right, here we go. Lewis County will serve things first. Mackey takes it on the back row. Cody Haddix puts it up to Rigsby. Rigsby brings it near sideline and puts it down for the kill. Happy senior day, Elizabeth Rigsby. Rams jump out to a 1-0 lead. And now Olivia Porter hasn't been able to play this season due to an injury. And she comes in as a defensive specialist and a chance to serve here on senior night. Also one of my media students, by the way. I kidded her. I said she's going to wear a GoPro for a game. Here's Weddington off the far side. Here's Hale back up to Rigsby. Rigsby with the big swing to the back row, Willis. Noble punches it across. Mackey back up to the net. Noble off to Weddington. Weddington, a big swing. That one's deep. And it's 2-0 Raceland. Saw this Lewis County team earlier this season up at East Carter. They fell in that matchup. So Porter getting a chance to get on the floor for her senior night. Great to see that there. And Cody Haddix checking back in for the Rams. She'll go to the service line. There's Noble. Lunger takes it off to Weddington. Weddington with a big swing and a boom as she pounds it down for the first point. 2-1, side out Lions. Off goes Noble. In comes Olivia Mustard. And to the service line is Grayson Lunger. Set score on the bottom of your screen. Game score up in the top left. Lunger coming right at you. And that one's into the net. A service error, 3-1. Two cameramen working for me tonight. Coming to you from the Raceland sideline is Hunter Masters out of my high school program, and Brigham Davidson out of my intro to class on the middle school. Coming at you from the Lewis County sideline, and Gracie Reed drops in an ace. 4-1 Raceland. Reed takes that one at the net, trying to get it right over top of the tape, and fires it into the face of the net. 4-2. She'll check out. Mackey back on, and back for the service is Kaylin Hamilton for Lewis County. 4-2, Rams lead it here in set 1. Our executive producer tonight is Mr. Lane Lee. And an ace as Mackey couldn't handle it on the far sideline. The Lions have it down to 1. Hamilton back to work. And that was movement too early on Raceland. So points should go to Lewis County. Still waiting for the official to make the signal. Bill Renzi is having a long conversation down toward Bill Farley. All right, so the point goes to Lewis, and we're at a 4-4 ball game. Here's Rigsby off the far sideline, put it down for the point, and the Rams back in front, 5-4. They've still got 5-3 up on the scoreboard. I believe it should be 5-4 because Raceland was basically like an illegal procedure almost, if you will, on the service. We'll keep you abreast on that one. Here's Rigsby back to the service line. Nice serve there. That's an ace. 6-4. Rigsby starting things off for her senior night. Good service this side, but just a little bit too wide. So Weddington back to the back line. I'm going to change the score to reflect the scoreboard. That's the official score in the building. We'll stay with it for now. Shayla Newman with a big bump off the back row. Brown Morris off to the far sideline. Has it blocked at the net. As getting up for the stuff was Abby Malone. And the lead's down to 1. 6-5 here in set 1. Weddington, one of the 3 seniors for this Lewis County team. Goes right down the center. There's Newman on the back row. Haddix. Brown Morris pops it across, back row. Here's Weddington. Haddix to Mackey. Big swing out of the back row and sends that one well too deep, almost to the girls' locker room for basketball. We're even at 6. Weddington, high arcing serve. That one's just out. Shayla Newman gave it a good stare, but it was right there in front of the official, and he raises the flag up to indicate it's out of bounds. So side out Raceland. They lead at 7-6, and Skylar Brown Morris back to the service line. Nice service by her. Here's Mustard. Takes it off to Malone. She crawls it across the tape. Free ball lifted over by Mackey. Weddington up to Mustard. Down the center of the lane there is Lewis. Diving save by Mackey. Weddington, big swing. There's Mackey. Haddix saving it back into the center. It's a free ball lifted over. Nice job there by Haddix to keep that one alive. Mustard pushes it off into the center. A diving save. Mackey keeps it alive. Weddington on the near sideline. They'll left it over on 2. Haddix with a save. Here's a ball back up front. And it's tipped over by Fifth. Spurlock and a point. What a volley and a point by the Rams. They lead at 8-6 here in set 1. Scramble volleyball at your best right there. Brown Morris back to work. Nice serve. Weddington receives. Back row. Off to Lewis. Lewis blocked at the net, but she fires it through the block of Shaylee Holbrook and picks up the point. 8-7 and a side out for Lewis County. Off goes Mustard back on his lunger, and the libero for the Lions, Kaya Noble, back to the line. Brown Morris also off as Hale comes back in. Hale receives it. Here's Haddix. Leaves it to Holbrook up front, and that one off of her fingertips. I heard it pop on the fingertips as that one went up. That's a 2-ball. That's where you strike the ball twice at slightly different moments. So even at 8, and that's not a call that will be uncharacteristic to see here tonight. Newman out of the back row. Haddix brings it off to Spurlock. Spurlock tries to get it across the tape, and it doesn't go. So Lewis County takes its first lead of the night. They lead it now 9-8. Kaya Noble. That one's deep and out on the back line, even at 9. Faith Spurlock's service. Lofted service to Noble. Here's a free ball lifted over by Malone. Hale in the back row. Haddix brings it off now to Reed. Reed goes cross court. It's dug out. Scrambling is Lunger. A free ball pushed over by the Lions. There's Newman on the back row. Back up to Haddix. Haddix comes near side to Reed. Reed pounds it through. Noble digs it out of the back row. Free ball sent over. Here's Holbrook up at the pipe and pounds that one through and gets it home. No, somehow that's a snub. That's a 4-ball. That is. Oh, well, either way, they're going to get an illegal hit. I believe that was 4 as well. Either way, point Raceland. Spurlock, Noble. Off to the far sideline, a touch over by Malone. Nice save there by the Rams up front by Gracie Reed. Weddington up to Malone. Here's Haddix up front. Holbrook pounds it down for the point with authority to the back corner. 8-11-9. Good shot there, Faith Spurlock. She's really been a little bit of everything for this Rams team here lately. Been playing well up front, but doing a fabulous job off the service line as well. Deep service there to Weddington. Lunger takes it off to the far side. A nice touch. Diving save there. It's going to be a free ball sent over by Spurlock. Lunger takes it to the outside corner, and it's too deep. And it's a 3-point Rams lead, 12-9 here in set 1. Timeout, Lewis County. We're back in 60 seconds on the Co-Ed Sports Network.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Out of the timeout, Faith Spurlock back to work for the Rams. There's a Noble bump up front. Diving save. Haddix tips it over. Scrambling is Hale. Here's Reed. Weddington back row. They'll push it off to Malone, and Malone into the net. 5-0 run by the Rams. Their largest lead of the set, now 13-9. It's all come from Spurlock on that service line. Nice service there. And that one's going to go down as an ace. 6-0 run. 14-9 here in set 1. Rams rolling. Nice service there. Noble. Lunger pushes across on 2. There's Haddix. Hale brings it off near side to Reed. Reed with a big swing, dug out by Malone. They'll go back to Malone. Malone with a big swing. Hale can't handle it. And a side out by Lewis County. And they're down 4. Here comes Kaylin Hamilton. She'll replace Amy Lewis. Excuse me, she will replace Olivia Mustard. Lewis is at the service line. There's Newman. Up to Haddix on 2. Haddix sends it over. Noble bumps it up to Malone. She'll send it over on a free ball. Here's Haddix. Holbrook lofts it across, and Raceland will pick up the point. Into the net was Lewis County. So 15-10. Newman off. Rigsby back on. And Shaylee Holbrook will go to the service line. Lewis County led 9-8, their only lead in this set. And the Rams rolled off a 6-0 run, and that's where they currently stand. Here's Weddington on the far side. Malone from the cross-court pin. That one's way too deep. 6-point lead for the Rams, their largest here in the set. And Holbrook's service into the net. A service error, siding out, 16-11. That brings Weddington back to the front row and puts Abby Malone at the service line. Running overhand service, and a service error gives the point right back to the Rams. They'll side out. Brown Morris back on for Hale, and Cody Haddix back to do the service for Raceland. Deep service. Here's Lunger over to Weddington through the double block. Mackey receives it off to Brown Morse on the near side pin. There's Weddington. They're going to go back to her on the far pin. She winds up and sends that one off the face of Haddix. Haddix just gets up kind of stunned. She's like, did that really just happen? Yes, it did. That's what happens when Sarah Page Weddington climbs the ladder. One heck of an athlete. Here's Reed. Through the double block on the back row is Lunger. Here's Weddington down the pipe. Brings it near side. That's out of bounds. Mackey looked it down. Heard her say out right before it got to the floor. It's 18-12. Rams leading by 6. Trying to close it out here in set 1. And Gracie Reed back to the service line. Good service there. Call it an ace. Addison Willis couldn't handle it. Right across the top of the tape. 19-12. Matching the largest lead here in the frame. Good service. Make it back-to-back aces. That time Malone on the back row could not play it. It got on top of her and straight backward it went. So an 8-point margin favoring the Rams. 5 points away from closing out set number 1. This time off to Hamilton. Cross court. Diving save by Reed. There's Haddix. Rigsby on a bump. They'll go back to Weddington. Weddington on a deep attack. Haddix digs it out. Reed pops it over on 2 for a free ball. They'll leave it up to Weddington, but they got it up to the net too close. It's an error. Nope. Excuse me. They'll get Rigsby in the net before the ball got there. So give the point to Lewis County, and it's 20-13. Mackey back on, and Reed goes off. And back to the service line is Kaylin Hamilton. Spurlock off to Rigsby with a big swing. Nice dig there by Noble on the back row. A free ball lofted over. Here's Rigsby off to Spurlock. Cross court. Noble back row. Here's a bump up to Weddington. Weddington with a big swing. There's Mackey. They'll come back to Spurlock on the near side pin, but she's blocked at the net by Weddington. And the point for the Lions, 20-14 here in set 1. Great crowd on hand here tonight. Senior night for the Rams. Good crowd both ways. Student section packed in tonight as well. That's a service error as that one's too deep. So Rigsby to the back row for the service now. Off goes Hamilton. And in for the first time is Carly Suffin. See if the senior can serve out set number 1. Here's Noble out of the back row, and that one's deep. Nearly got it on the tape, but it doesn't go down. Timeout, Lewis County will stay right here. 22-14. Again, those 4 seniors that we spoke about that was honored before the game tonight: Olivia Porter, Elizabeth Rigsby, Sophie Hale, and Shaylin Newman. And all 4 have had a little bit to say about this one. It was great to see Porter out there not getting a chance to play this year due to an injury. And she got in here, got a serve, got a point, and then Coach Farley was able to check her out and get Haddix right back in. So a nice to see that. And the funny thing is, if I mentioned a couple of times, I've got 2 of the players that's on the floor as seniors of Porter and Newman are part of my media class. And I've kidded them several times. I said, we're going to put GoPros on your heads and get an in-game shot. I said, man, how awesome would that be if we were allowed? So out of the timeout, Rigsby back to work. What a dart right across the tape for an ace. 23-14. Rigsby having herself a night. Good service again. This one back up at the net. There's Haddix. Mackey with a bump. Spurlock pops it across. Noble out of the back row. Lewis lifts it across. There's Haddix. Rigsby on a free ball. And that ball's off to the far side. Nobody's going to go after it, and it's set point for the Rams. They got away with one there. So it's a 10-point lead, the largest it's been in the set, and Elizabeth Rigsby trying to serve out set number 1. And that one off the bottom of her hand for a service error. So that puts Weddington back for the service. It's still set point. Newman back in for Rigsby. Newman, diving save. Haddix trying to poke it across, but she didn't get there. So still set point, 24-16. Weddington back to work. There's Newman. Haddix takes it off to Brown Morris. Brown Morris fires it down for the point, and set number 1 goes to Raceland, 25-16. Set 2 when we return after this on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
When you have business away from home or a planned event far from your comfort zone, you're probably going to need a little help. Let A&A Porta Potties assist you with all your portable toilet needs. Whether on a construction site, planning for an outdoor wedding, or any other outdoor event, A&A Porta Potties are here to assist you. A&A Porta Potties also rents out storage containers, office containers, cooling fans, tables, and chairs. A&A Porta Potties, there is no event too big or too small for us to accommodate you.
Set 1 goes to the Rams. They lead the match 1-0 after knocking off the Lions 25-16. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here tonight from the Palace, senior night for the Rams. Our crew tonight, our executive producers Lane Lee on cameras, Hunter Masters, and Brigham Davidson. 2 of my students from my media class. Mr. Masters out of my live production class from the high school, and Mr. Davidson out of my middle school class, Intro to Media. A brand new program here at Raceland Worthington High School this year, and with the middle school bringing the youngsters over. And it's been, a kind of a brick by brick piece to build things up, but it has turned into something pretty phenomenal. The Intro to Media class today actually did afternoon announcements for the entire school district, and did it green screen, 6 people on the screen looking like they're in 3 different studios. It's pretty awesome. So some great things happening here with the media program. We've yet to scratch the surface. Now, the camera angles, again, we're giving you are second to none, and that's something that we will continue to always put forth with the coverage that we give you. I'm still trying to work on how to get a camera down on that net. I was watching a collegiate game earlier this week, and they had the net cam, and you talk about some really awesome replays. When they would get a big spike or a big block at the net, and they would go back to that net cam, and you could see the girls' faces as they come up and put the thing. It was pretty awesome to watch. Don't know that we'll get that this year, but, hey, next year. I'm already thinking of what's going to happen for next year. Raceland will serve it here in set number 2. They're in the orange and black on the right of your screen. Lewis County in the all blacks. Again, the white jerseys tonight for both teams are the Liberos, Mackey and Noble, for their respective clubs. Cody Haddix, you'll start things off here in set number 2. Leading the match 1-0. You see the score up in the top left. That is your match score. Set score down at the bottom of your screen. And here we go, set number 2. Nice service. Lunger takes it off to Malone. And Malone into the face of the net, and the Rams lead this one 1-0. District crown on the line tonight for the Rams. A win tonight would push it to win number 22 and their first district championship since winning 30 games back in 2016. Here's Hamilton. A big swing, and that one's just out of bounds. The Boo Birds rang down from Vanceburg, and I think they've got rightfully so to do so. That was right in front of the official, and from up here, that ball looked like it caught tape. And now they change it around. I even put the score inadvertently down 1-1. Here's the service from Malone. Holbrook on the back row, up to Haddix. Now Reed on the cross court. Nice diving save there by Malone. They'll go to Weddington on the far side pin, and she hammers that one off the side of her hand into the net. An attack error. And the Rams side out, and they lead it 2-1, and Mackey back to the service line. Deep service by her. Here's Weddington on a free ball. She'll fire it over. There's Haddix. Brown Morse pushes it across. Lunger goes back off to Weddington. Weddington rises up, and that one's out of bounds. That one was definitely deep. 3-1 Rams lead it here in set 2. Mackey, those cotton candy shoes, blue and purple, by the way. Good service there, Noble. Lunger leaves it off to Weddington. Weddington tipped at the net. Brown Morris pushes it across. Here's Lunger. Push ball brought over by Hamilton. Haddix tips it on a 2-ball. Out of the back row, Malone. Holbrook, Rigsby, off to Spurlock. Blocked at the net and through the block attempt of Weddington for the point and the kill. 4-1 Rams here in set 2. Final week of the regular season. District play next week. Regionals at Ashland Blazer in 2 weeks. Here's Weddington down the pipe with a big swing. Dug out on the back row by Haddix. Rigsby pounds it up, and it's blocked right back by Weddington. And they pick up the point. That's twice that she's gotten Cody Haddix in the head. That one was a little softer than the first one. I think Haddix was seeing stars on the first one she took. And here's a service error. And it hands it right back to the Rams. Out goes Lunger, back on his Kaya Noble. And Shayla Newman, the senior, for the service. Coming at you on your screen, a floating service to Noble. Mackey, Haddix leaves it off to Brown Morris on a push. And near side, Mustard can't control it. Point Raceland 6-2. They lead it here in set 2. Leading the match 1-0. Deep service on the back row from the Lewis County bench. Haddix leaves it up front for Holbrook. Pounds it through the block attempt of Weddington for the point. 7-2. Rams lead it by 5. That's the thing, when Raceland gets in system, they can swing it from 3 different places on the court, down the pipe and from the pins. and then they play it well from the back row, from the service. It's a good team and a tough team to beat. And this is a service ace as it clips the tape. Coming forward and trying to make a play on it was Addison Willis, but she goes off the bar that's hanging down that holds up the net, and it's a 6-point Rams lead. Here's Weddington. Mackey with a diving save. Weddington rises up and fires that one back down for the point. It sounds like we're in the Scream Factory from Monsters, Inc. every time she puts a point down. We're filling up the Scream buckets. One heck of an athlete, though. Great volleyball player, an amazing basketball player as well. Here's a deep service. That one just in. Mackey wasn't for certain whether or not she was going to play it or not, so she let it go, and it dives right at the back line for the point. 8-4. Hamilton. Good service. Mackey saving it on the near sideline. That's Newman. And Brown Morris and Haddix get tangled up trying to get it back across. So back-to-back points. Lewis County trying to make a little run. Here's Haddix. Near side, Spurlock. And Spurlock into the net. Bill Farley wants a timeout. We're back in 60 seconds on the Co-Ed Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Out of the timeout, Lewis County down 8-6. Back to the service line they go. Deep service. Brown Morris there. Haddix bumps it into the center of the court. Brown Morris fires it across. Here's Weddington. Newman up to Haddix. Haddix touches it over. Weddington fires it right back. There's Newman. Raceland can't find the mark. It's a 5-0 run by the Lions, and the lead's down to 1. Kaylin Hamilton trying to even the set at 8. Good service there. And ball hits off of the one of the crossbars as Brown Morris and Haddix were in pursuit. It's a 6-0 run, and we're even at 8 here in set 2. Deep service there. Haddix on a bump. Spurlock a free ball. Lewis. A pair of players converge. That was Noble and Mustard. Weddington tried to fire it across. It goes out of bounds. Point Raceland. Brown Morris off. Sophie Hale, the senior, comes back on, and she'll go back to do the service work. On the far sideline, they're trying to get it up to Weddington. Weddington with a big swing. There's Newman on the back row. Haddix comes near side to Spurlock. Noble from the back row now. Off to Lewis. Lewis on a touch. Tap back over by Holbrook. Hale back pedals. They'll give it back to Holbrook. A nice touch there and a big swing by Weddington up front, but she missed time to jump and can't make the connection. 10-8, Rams lead it by 2. And timeout requested by Lewis County. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Again, Raceland, a win here tonight gives the Rams a district crown. And the last time, again, this district has been kind of controlled for the better part of 5 years by Russell. And you got to go all the way back to the 2016 season. That was a 30-5 mark by the Rams. They rolled through the district through Greenup and Lewis County, 3-0 and 3-1. Made it all the way into the second round of the state tournament before getting knocked out. But Bill Farley has really flipped things up this year, and things are working out nicely for a chance to make a run in region. So leading by 2 here in set 2. Leading the match 1-0. Noble deep out of the back row. Here's Lewis. Diving save there by Newman, but she can't get it back up front. And the point goes down for Lewis County, and the lead's down to 1. Again, it's no argument the region goes through Boyd County, and rightfully so, when all of the ways that they have to attack you from about every position on the floor. But an anomaly, an injury, anything can happen. A team can just simply have a bad night and can be knocked off. But I think you can talk to every single team within the 16th region, and they know everything goes through Boyd. But, again, we don't play games on paper. Getting there is part of the goal of just having a chance. Noble, nice save off the back row. Malone on a free ball. Here's Haddix up front. Leaves it up to Holbrook with a big swing. Nice diving save from the back row by Weddington. A block at the net by Holbrook as Lewis can't keep it in. And the Rams pick up the point 12-9, and Faith Spurlock ready to go back to work. She served Raceland into a 10-point lead last time back on their line. There's Noble. Noble on a free ball, punches it across. Hale on the back row to Haddix. Haddix touches it over on 2. Spurlock on a diving save. Newman back row. Here's Haddix. Comes near side to Reed. Reed cross-court attack on the back row, Noble. Hale from the back row for the Rams, up to Haddix. Here's Holbrook at the net. A nice save there by Hamilton. Holbrook, Haddix gives it back over to Reed. And a tip ball over by Mustard catches Raceland out of position and cuts the lead to 2. Now 12-10. And Kaya Noble, the libero for the Lions, back to work. There's Newman. Reed scrambling. Holbrook on a free ball. They'll push it off onto the far side to Malone. There's Hale, Haddix. Back row, Newman on a free ball to the near side. Lewis goes over on 2. Haddix brings it up to Holbrook. Holbrook goes to the far deep pin, but is too far out of bounds. 12-11. Lewis County with a chance to tie it up here. There's Mackey, Haddix. Free ball, Holbrook. A nice touch right there by Lunger as she found the soft spot in the Raceland defense. Mackey with a diving save, can't get there. We're tied at 12. Haddix with a touch. They'll go back to Weddick and deep. She'll touch it across. Here's Reed. Weddington. Over to Malone. Big swing. There's Newman. Haddix saving, but she can't keep it in bounds, and Lewis County takes their first lead of set 2. Now 13-12. Lions leading here in the frame, but trailing the match 1-0. There's Hale, Haddix up front. Near side, Reed on a free ball. Malone, big swing there. Mackey trying to save it after it went off the arm of Hale out of bounds. Lions now in front by a deuce. Three players converging. One gets it across. Now Noble with a bump up to Malone, who taps it across for Lewis County. There's Reed. Haddix leaves it off to Holbrook with a big swing. Noble on the back row. Malone again on the pin. Newman steps forward. Haddix brings it near side to Reed. Reed goes cross court. Dug out by Malone. Haddix with a nice save. Here's Holbrook up front. This one off to Lewis. Hale. Holbrook. Neither team getting in system, but keeping the volley alive. And this one's pushed out of bounds. And a side out for the Rams, and they take the point. Now 14-13. They trail in the set. And Shaylee Holbrook back to the line. Rigsby back on for Shayla Newman. So Holbrook trying to get the Rams back in front of this one. Lunger takes it off to Lewis, or excuse me, Malone. And Malone fires that one down with force and pushes the lead back to 2. Wonder how come the Scream Factory don't come alive every time but somebody else besides Weddington comes down with a big swing. So Addison Willis will check in. She'll replace Lewis, and she'll do the service now for Lewis County. Leading by 2 here in set 2. And a service error by her. 15-14. And Cody Haddix back to work for the Rams. Good service there. It's bumped back over. Mackey up front to Haddix. Takes it out the back door to Reed. Reed with a cross-court attack. A nice save up front, but they'll get Lewis County in the net. We're even at 15. Little touch there by Hamilton up front. Haddix trying to get out of the way, and for some reason the ball wants to find her head tonight. Third time she's taken one off the head. 2 by Weddington. And Weddington rotates back up front now for Lewis County, who leads this one by 1. And then the service by Abby Malone is into the net, and we're even at 16. So Reed steps off, Faith Spurlock back in, and Reagan Mackey to the service line. Noble will push it off to Weddington. Weddington with a big swing. There's Haddix. Rigsby on a touch. Back up front, Hamilton. Haddix with a deep push. And a point. And a lead. 17-16. Cody Haddix drops it in. That little ninja kill. Coach Farley's talked about it many times. It's like she has eyes in the back of her head. So Mackey back to work, leading by 1 now. Good service there. That's Willis out of the back row. Here's Weddington. Taps it across. Holbrook, free ball Spurlock. Lunger up to the net. Brown Morris with a dig. Free ball by Mackey on a save by Haddix. Lunger pushes it off this time to Weddington with a big swing and a boom. And the Scream Factory burst out here again in the Palace. It's one of those, it's almost like an instant replay. You can tell it's coming. You know what's going to happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So Grayson Lunger with the service. That one's deep over top the head of Shaylee Holbrook. She thought about it, and she's like, I think that was a little too much, and it was. It was about 4 feet out of bounds. So Rigsby off. Back in is Shaylin Newman. She'll do the service, leading by 1 and leading the match 1 games to none. Floating service. That's Mustard. And a big swing there by Weddington. It comes back up to her, and she'll pound it back through for the second time. And we're even at 18. A nice dig there by Newman, but it sent it back up at the face of the net, and Weddington climbs the ladder and fires it back down. So Kaylin Hamilton. A deep service, Brown Morris. Haddix puts it across on 2. Here's Mustard, back up to Weddington, and she's blocked at the net, that time by Holbrook, who says, I don't think so, in her Dikembe Mutombo voice. No, 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 she says here at the Palace. 19-18 Rams lead it by 1. Now Sophie Hale, the senior. Floating service, there's Weddington. Spurlock on the near side, through the double block, and a point for the Rams as they got Weddington in the net. So now a 2-point cushion for the Rams, trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead here in the match. And that one is out of bounds, right in front of the official. And head coach Whitney Willis for the Lions. So now Weddington rotates off the front row, but she can do just as much damage from that service line. Here's Haddix up front to Holbrook with a nice little touch. Dug out by Malone. They'll take it back off to Malone on a touch. Haddix with a push to the back row. Lewis with a big swing. Dug out back Mackey. Spurlock off the double block attempt. Noble and a push. Haddix brings it up to Holbrook. Holbrook with a tap and puts it down for the point. That's the thing with Shaylee Holbrook, is she can get you with the big swing, the blocks up front, but also the touch. As Bill Rafferty would say, with a kiss. 21-19. Rams in front by 2. There's Weddington. Mustard off to the far side. Malone with a big swing out of bounds. And the Rams 3 points away from closing this one out here in set 2. Timeout, Lewis County. We're back in 60 seconds on the Coed Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Back underway here out of the timeout. Spurlock with a nice service. It's going to be a free ball sent over by Lewis County. There's Haddix with a diving touch. She can't get it to anyone to make a play on it, so side out Lewis County. They trail it by 2. Kaya Noble back for the service, the libero for Lewis County. Rams 3 points away from closing out set 2 and taking commanding 2-0 lead. Here's Newman. Free ball Mackey. Noble steps forward. They'll push it off to Malone on the far side pin with a big swing. There's Mackey. Malone goes back up and touches that one down, and the Scream Factory comes alive for the Lions for someone other than Lewis County. But they're going to say that a player was in the net, so the point goes to Raceland. They side out, and they lead it 23-20. And Elizabeth Rigsby back on for Newman, and Shaylee Holbrook trying to serve out set number 2. Service to the far side. Lunger touches it on 2. Haddix comes off to Reed. Reed with the swing and the point as the block attempt at the net by Amy Lewis was unsuccessful off the antenna, and set point for the Rams. Holbrook with the ace. 2-0. The Rams lead 1 set away from a district crown. Set 3 when we return after this on the Coed Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
When you have business away from home or a planned event far from your comfort zone, you're probably going to need a little help. Let A&A Porta Potties assist you with all your portable toilet needs. Whether on a construction site, planning for an outdoor wedding, or any other outdoor event, A&A Porta Potties are here to assist you. A&A Porta Potties also rents out storage containers, office containers, cooling fans, tables, and chairs. A&A Porta Potties, there is no event too big or too small for us to accommodate you.
Back here at the Palace, set 2 goes to the Rams. They lead it 2-0. As senior night for the Rams. 4 seniors tonight: Olivia Porter, Elizabeth Rigsby, Sophie Hale, and Shaylin Newman. All 4 seniors have seen action tonight. Porter was on the floor for 1 point tonight. Her first game this season, as she was injured and was unable to play this year, but they got her out there for a service. The Rams scored a point on that play, and then they were able to rotate her out and get Haddix back on. But all 4 seniors on the floor tonight and finding action, and that's great to see. So the Rams lead the match 2-0. That's the score you see in the top left-hand corner of your screen. The bottom of the screen is your set score. That's the current game going on. Again, we play the first of 3. Raceland in commanding 2-0 lead in the match. Lewis County in the blacks on your left, Raceland in the orange and black on your right. And we're about ready to get things underway here for set number 3. Lewis County will serve it to start the 3rd set. A win here by the Rams will give them the district crown, their first since 2016. That was when they won 30 games. And off we go for set number 3, and Elizabeth Rigsby with a big swing at the net. It went down for the point, but either way, it was a net violation on Lewis. So the point goes to Raceland. And then Cody Haddix with the ace. And a 2-0 lead for the Rams. Sophie Hale off. Brown Morris back in. Straight set winners tonight would be fabulous to see for this Rams team to pick up win number 22. Here's Weddington with a big swing. Holbrook digs it out on the back row, and then rising up in the net and firing it back down for the point is Hamilton, and it's 2-1. No scream factory on that one, though. Grayson Lunger. There's Mackey. Haddix up front. Leaves it off to Rigsby with a big swing. It comes right back across. They'll try it again. This time to Brown Morris with a cross-court attack. Dug out on the back row by Mustard. Here's Weddington as she rises up and just forces it down with the fingertips. Even at 2 here in set 3. And that's the thing with Sarah Page Weddington. If you leave something hanging at the net, typically it's not going to end well. There's Mackey on the back row. Haddix goes off to Reed. Reed cross court, blocked at the net as Weddington sends it back along with Hamilton. And Lewis County's in front now 3-2. Haddix touches across. There's Weddington. They'll leave it back for Weddington, and a big swing, and she's blocked to the net by Rigsby. Rigsby says, not in my house. We're tied at 3. They were kidding today. They called her Shaq at school. Showing off a little of that Shaq attack blocking ability. Now Gracie Reed. Deep service there. Ball poked up at the net. And a touch over by Faith Spurlock, and the Rams back in front 4-3. District tournament next week up in Vanceburg. Rams trying to clinch the top seed here tonight. And then regional tournament over to Ashland. Good service there. Here's Weddington. A deep swing. Holbrook up to Haddix. Brown Morris. Scrambling is Mustard. Blocked at the net. A big dig on the far sideline by Hamilton. Here's Noble. Punches it across. Holbrook. Rigsby touches it across. Come back out to Weddington with a big swing and through the double block for the point to even the set at 4. Mackey back on. Reed off. And Hamilton back to work. Holbrook on the back row. Haddix sends it off to Rigsby. Nice dig there by Malone on the far sideline, and then touching it across is Amy Lewis for the point and the lead, 5-4. Off the net, diving save by Holbrook on the back row. Here's Brown Morris with a big swing. That's Noble. Free ball, Weddington. There's Rigsby. Haddix leaves it off to Rigsby with a big swing for the point on the back line. We're tied at 5. And Rigsby will rotate back to the line for service work. And that one, she never got the timing down. Service error, side out, point Lewis. And the back in front, they go by 1. Rigsby out. Shaylin Newman comes back in. And Sarah Page Weddington back for the service for Lewis. That one's a short, but it rolls across the tape. Mackey with a free ball. Weddington bumps it back up front. Over to Malone with a touch. Diving save. Newman keeps it alive. A push across by Holbrook. Here's Weddington. Tries to push it across down the line, and she gets it into the top of the net, and we're even at 6. Skylar Brown Morris, a laser beam across the net. This is a free ball lofted over by Lewis. There's Brown Morris to Haddix. Haddix comes near side to Spurlock. Spurlock goes reverse and gets it through somehow. And then a touch comes near sideline by Abby Malone for the point and the lead at 7-6. Off goes Mustard, back in is Lunger and Kaya Noble for the service work. Haddix up front. Holbrook. We'll take it off now to Malone with a big swing. Blocked at the net. As Holbrook gets the block for the point, and we're even at 7. Spurlock rotates out. Reed back in. And she'll come to the front row. Mackey's service. As it goes up to the far side pin, and the only player there was Shaylee Holbrook, who rises it up and fires it back down for the point. And the Rams in front 8-7. Nice read there by her. Now Mackey, deep service Noble. Lunger off to Noble with a big swing out of the pipe. Off the hands of Hale out of bounds for the kill and an 8-8 game. That one went all the way up next to the senior boards in the entrance. Not often do you see a libero with a big swing like that down the pipe from behind that attack line. But she got it played perfectly and got it home. Newman Haddix touches it near side to Reed. Reed goes cross court, dug out there by Malone. Malone taps it across, Haddock with a bump. Reed comes across just deep. I think she had it inside the near line, but it was just past the tape on the back line. And the point and the lead goes to Lewis County. There's Newman. Hale from the back row bumps it up front. Free ball lifted over by Haddix and Holbrook. Big swing up front as that's by Kaylin Hamilton. And she gets it past Sophie Hale for the point, and it's 10-8. Lewis County here in set 3. We will be bringing you the semifinals and finals from Ashland in the regional tournament. Here's Reed near side with a big swing for the point. And side out Raceland, 10-9. Rigsby back in. Off goes Newman. Back in for Lewis County is Addison Willis as she'll replace Amy Lewis. And Shaylee Holbrook for the service. Weddington off to Malone. Malone with a big swing. Hale sticks her arm out again, and that's 3 that's gone off of her arm up into the vestibule. Coach Farley looking at her saying, don't use the arm. Use both hands. Now Hale and Mackey converging in the same area. Lewis County with the largest lead in the match thus far of 3, now 12-9 here in set 3. Malone, deep service, Mackey. Haddix with a running save, and Rigsby with a touch across. Here's Weddington back up front and a big swing at the net for the point. And it's 13-9. Timeout, Bill Farley and Raceland. We're back in 60 seconds on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
When you have business away from home or a planned event far from your comfort zone, you're probably going to need a little help. Let A&A Porta Potties assist you with all your portable toilet needs. Whether on a construction site, planning for an outdoor wedding, or any other outdoor event, A&A Porta Potties are here to assist you. A&A Porta Potties also rents out storage containers, office containers, cooling fans, tables, and chairs. A&A Porta Potties, there is no event too big or too small for us to accommodate you.
Out of the timeout, Lewis County leading 13-9 here in set number 3, trailing 2 games to none in the match. Abby Malone sends this one deep. Haddix up front to Rigsby. Rigsby with a big swing that kicks off the tape and tumbles across. And she picks up the point. So Cody Haddix will go back for the service work. Brown Morris comes in for Hale. So now 3 big hitters up front of Reed, Rigsby, and Brown Morris. Near side service, Lunger taps it off to Weddington, who's back up front. Rigsby leaves it for Brown Morris, who touches it across for the point. Hamilton went up for the block and couldn't control it. And Brown Morris with a touch at the net for the point, and the lead's down to 2. Cody Haddix into the net, just a little too soft on that one. Side out Lewis County, and it leads back to 3. And now Grayson Lunger. Mackey out of the back row. And Weddington leaves that one right back where it came from, as it was lofted at the net, and you could see that one coming from a mile away. (15-11). Lewis County's largest lead. Deep service. Haddix taps it off to a free ball, Rigsby. Here's Weddington. They take it off now for a big swing to the far side pin to Hamilton. Here's Hamilton out of the back row with the kill. Down the pipe. And side out for the Rams. Mackey off, Spurlock back on, and Gracie Reed for the service work. So now it's Spurlock, Rigsby, and Brown Morris up front for the Rams, and Gracie Reed coming right at you on your screen. And call that an ace. Noble couldn't control it. Leads down to 2. Rams trying to close it out here in set 3 and pick up their first 63rd district crown since 2016. Good service there. That one comes all the way back across. Brown Morris fires it back over. Here's Weddington with a big swing, blocked at the net by Rigsby. Not in my house again, she says. Leads down to 1. It has been an awesome battle between those two at the net tonight. And this is an ace. We're even at 15. Now the first one to 10 at this point. Wins set number 3. The Rams would like to get out of here in straight sets and call it a district title on senior night. That's a service error by Reed. Side out. And the ball back to Lewis County. Out goes Willis. Back on is Lewis. Reed off, Mackey back on. And Kaylin Hamilton back to do the service work for the Lions. There's Mackey. Rigsby with a big swing. Haddix, Rigsby with a big swing on the far side and put it down for the point. It was touched back up front, but Amy Lewis couldn't find it. We're even at 16, Elizabeth Rigsby back to the service line. And an ace as she puts it right in front of the Lewis County bench. 17-16 timeout, Lewis County. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Big thanks to our sponsors tonight, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, A&A Porta Potties, and River Cities Builders. Always appreciative of their cooperation with everything we're doing here on Cool TV. We've got the regional soccer tournament coming up. Semifinals and finals down at Greenup County beginning on Wednesday. Thursday, semifinals. Championship on Saturday. Then next week is regional tournament for volleyball. Next week is district tournament for volleyball. The week following is regional tournament. And we will have regional tournament action from Paul Blazer High School here on Cool TV. Rams back in action this weekend on Friday night over in Westwood against Fairview. 7:30 kickoff. You can catch all the action right here on the Cool Sports Network beginning at 7:10. Leading 17-16, Rigsby serve into the net. We're even at 17. She's off, Newman back in. And Weddington back to the back row. And again, right now, that's the place that Raceland would like to keep her away from that net. Newman can't play it. It'll go down as an ace and an 18-17 lead for Lewis County. Haddix up front, touches it across with a ninja kill. There it is. 18-18, and a big smile from Cody. Brown Morris off. Sophie Hale, the senior, for the service. High arcing service on the back row. Here's Mustard, goes off to Malone with a touch and a point. Nice touch there by Abby Malone, as she has been working off that far side pin. And that time she went with the touch instead of the big swing. So now Kaya Noble coming down your screen. Haddix with a touch up front, pushes across to Weddington. Weddington, a big swing out of the back row, and that one's going home for a point. And a 2-point lead for Lewis County, now 20-18. Largest lead of the match for Lewis County has been 4. Mackey lobs this one back across. Haddix brings it up front to Holbrook. Holbrook pounds it across, saving it on the far sideline, and somehow Grayson Lunger gets that one to go across the net and stay in bounds. 21-18. Lions lead it here in set 3. Newman with a nice diving save up front. Lunger pushes it off to Malone. Malone goes with a big swing. There's Newman. Mackey saves. Free ball coming over by Haddix. Noble brings it up to Lunger. She'll touch it back off now to Malone with a big swing and a block at the net. That one's not going down. It's a point for the Rams, and Shaylee Holbrook with another big stuff. Side out Rams, 21-19. They trail by 2 here in set 3, leading the match 2-0. And Reagan Mackey with the service work. Back over to Malone with a touch. Haddix is there. Hale bumps it off to Reed with a big swing. Noble out of the back row. Lunger. Free ball sent over, and a point goes down on the far sideline as Abby Malone gets it on the line, and the lead is back to 3. So Amy Lewis going to work for the Lions, trying to fight themselves back into this game. Down 2-0. Low arcing serve. Haddix near side Reed. Noble with a bump over to Malone on a free ball. Haddix with the set up front. Holbrook with a big swing and a point. 22-20. Holbrook with the point and the service. Newman off, Rigsby back in. Here's Malone. Touches it to the back row, Hale. Holbrook, free ball sent over by Rigsby. Lunger leaves it off there to Hamilton, and a big swing and a point. 23-20. That one's out of bounds on a service error. So Cody Haddix back to the line. Hale off, Brown Morris on. The rotation also brought Weddington back to the front line. So 23-21. Rams down by 2. Trying to close it out here in set 3. Service comes back up to the net. Noble on a punched ball to the back row, Hamilton. Here's Reed on the far side pin with a push to the back row. Haddix with a dig. Brown Morse. Diving save Noble. Weddington on a free ball. No. She converges with Kaylin Hamilton. And a timeout, Lewis County. 23-22. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Again, Lewis County's head coach of Whitney Willis certainly does not want Raceland to get on a run. Leading the set by 1 now. First to 25, but you must win by 2. And we've seen some games that we've covered here on Cool TV that have gone well past 25. The other night against Fairview, we were pushing out close to 30. The farthest I've ever gone in a volleyball game is 31 in college when I covered Marshall. You talk about some exciting action. We played 5 sets in that match, and every set went past the option of the point of 25 in the first 4 sets, then 15 in set 5 if you get there. All right, back underway. Here we go. Lunger takes it off to Weddington with a big swing. That's blocked at the net, but out of bounds it goes. And for the first time in the match, it's set point Lewis County. Weddington with another big swing. And Grayson Lunger. Mackey. Brown Morris sends it over. Haddix with a free ball to the back corner. Here's Hamilton. Mackey lifts it airward. Brown Morris near side with a big swing and the point on the back row. Nice job there by Skylar Brown Morris. Mackey off, Spurlock on, and Gracie Reed still set point for the Lions. A point here by the Rams would force us out to 26. Good service there. It comes back up, and a block at the net by Weddington. And Lewis County takes set number 3, 25-23. Set 4 when we return after this on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Back here at the Palace, senior night for the Rams. Trying to close it out for a 63rd district crown, which will be win number 22 on the season. And they're going to have to take 4 sets at least to do it after Lewis County gets back into the match by grabbing set number 3, 25-23. And it's a 2-1 lead for the Rams here in the match. First of 3 out of 5. You can see up there in the top left of your corner, that's your game score. Set score down on the bottom of your screen. Again, we played a 25. Should we go to 5 sets, we only played a 15. And that's when the price of poker, to say the least, gets a little more expensive. Every miscue, mistake, mishit amplified so much there in that 5th set. But Lewis County was able to starve off the Raceland surge there at the end to hang on for the win. Now the Rams, can they get back? They really struggled to stay in system that last set. And in sets 1 and 2, that was the reason why they were able to do what they did. So we'll see how things work out here in this one, see if they can get the ball back where they want it to go, and more importantly, get going on that service line as well. In Lewis County on the left in the black jerseys, Raceland in the orange and black on your right. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here tonight from the Palace on the Cool Hit Sports Network. Our executive producer is Lane Lee. Our camera operators, Hunter Masters, working on the Raceland camera. And on the visiting camera, we've had a mixture of Brigham Davidson and now Sierra Zewalt. Both of those members of my Intro to Media Communications class here at Raceland Worthington. From the middle school side, Mr. Masters, part of my live production class on the high school side. Here we go, set 4. It's underway. Raceland serving. Here's Noble from the back row. Mackey. Haddix leaves it off to Brown Morris. Brown Morris' shot is blocked, but it's out of bounds by Hamilton, and the point goes to the Rams. Brown Morris, a player that didn't see a lot of varsity action early in the season, has really come on here in the last month or so and had been playing very well for the Rams. Here's Malone. Mackey back up to Haddix with a ninja kill. Touch to the back row. It's dug out, though. Big swing. Nice dig there by Haddix. Brown Morris trying to lift it up. Hamilton will pick up the point. We're even at 1. Nice crowd here tonight at the Palace. Senior night. 3 seniors for the Lions. Honored before the Rams honored their 4 seniors. There's a joust at the net. And Hamilton wins that and the point. 2-1 Lewis County leading here in 4. Olivia Porter, Elizabeth Rigsby, Sophie Hell, and Shayla Newman, the 4 seniors. There's Holbrook, Haddix. Mackey out of the back row, a dart to the back row. Noble is there, though. Reed, Haddix. Now Rigsby on a free ball. Neither team in system just yet. Here's Hamilton. Lofts it backward. Haddix touches it off to Mackey. And a big swing into the net. 3-1 Lewis County leads it. Here's Haddix. Off to Reed with a cross-court attack. Trying to save it at the net was Lunger. But the point goes down as a kill. It's 3-2. Spurlock on, Mackey off. Gracie Reed to the service line for the Rams. A dart off the near side. Hamilton sends that one out of bounds. We're even at 3. (2-1) Rams lead it here in set 4. Deep service would have been out, but instead Malone touches it backward after the save by Willis. That would have let it go out of bounds for the point. Lewis County picks up the point. They side out and they lead at 4-3. Grayson Lunger coming at your screen with a service error, and we're even at 4. Shayla Newman, the senior, replacing the fellow senior of Elizabeth Rigsby. She taps this one across for an ace. Everybody thinking it was going out of bounds. Kaya Noble tried to come out of the back row for the play and couldn't get there. Lofting serve, back row. Here's Weddington as she winds up and sends that one down. Didn't get a lot of force on it like we've seen in some of the matches, or some of the sets in this match, but either way it's a point. It's 5-5. Kaylin Hamilton back to work for the Lions. Coming at you on your screen. There's Mackey, Haddix. Near side Spurlock with a big swing. It goes backward to the back row. Diving save by Haddix. Here's Holbrook. Noble back row. We'll touch it back up to Weddington, and she's blocked, but she digs it at the net. A joust at the net, and that one's Weddington's ball all day long. 6-5, Lewis County in front by 1. Haddix up front. Spurlock saves it. They touch it back up to Weddington with a big swing, and Raceland can't make the dig, and it's a 7-5 Lewis County lead. Just getting that eerie feeling right now. The Rams need to find a little bit of an answer up front. Of trying to slow down Weddington and get this Lewis County team out of system. That will help. An error on the service. Put Skylar Brown Morris back to the line down by 1. Here's Weddington on a free ball. Mackey steps forward. Haddix near side Spurlock through the double block. It comes back up. Weddington tries to save it, but she can't get there. We're even at 7. Good service there by Brown Morris. Here's Weddington. Mackey with a dig on the back row. Newman up to Holbrook on a free ball. Weddington in a big swing, and this one's into the net. Raceland back in front by 1, 8-7. That one's an ace. And she launches that one off of Abby Malone in front of her bench. Weddington picks up the point with the kill, 9-8. And that one's a point for the Rams. Spurlock tried to just touch that one across, but gets it into the net. Noble back to work. Newman. Haddix brings it near side. Reed. Reed cross court with the kill. And it's 11-9. Some clarification also, too, as I was talking about Raceland, regular season district is what I'm talking about. I misspoke maybe a little bit on that. Rams win this one tonight. It's the #1 seed in the district tournament, which comes up next week at Lewis County. Jack Likens, if you are tuned in, I got you, my man. Big swing there by Malone. Holbrook. They'll go back to Malone. She touches across. Diving save there by Haddix. Holbrook comes near side. She's going to pick up the point. Lunger couldn't save it. 12-9. Weddington out of the back row. Rigsby up front to Haddix. Back to Rigsby with a big swing. There's Lewis County digging it from the back row was Weddington. Haddix pushes it across to Weddington. They'll lob it back to her. She'll punch it from the back row. Hale. Haddix. Free ball, Holbrook. Willis tries to push it across, and it's blocked by Rigsby for the point, and it's 13-9. And a timeout requested by Lewis County. Back in 60 seconds on the Coed Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
13-9, Rams leading it here in set number 4. leading the match 2-1. Here's Hamilton, a free ball. Haddix leaves it up to Rigsby with a big swing. Noble. Free ball back row by Hamilton. Here's Haddix up front. Comes near side to Reed with a cross court. Free ball lifted up by Lewis. There's Rigsby. She'll go back up, and that one's wide. Just a little bit out on the near sideline corner. 13-10. So Amy Lewis, a service error. Side out Raceland, 14-10. Lewis off, back in is Addison Willis. And Brown Morris returns for Sophie Hale. Cody Haddix serving for the Rams. Weddington, who's stuck in that back row. Here's Malone off the far side pin, touches that one over with the point. Haddix with a diving attempt, couldn't get home. 14-11, siding out. And Malone back for the service. That brings Weddington back up front. Brown Morris, Haddix, leaves it up to Rigsby with a touch. There's a dig by Lunger. And they'll get a lift on Rigsby. So the point goes to Lewis, 14-12. Mackey out of the back row to Haddix. Off to Reed. Reed touches it across. Lunger to Noble out of the back row. Here's a bump by Mackey. Brown Morris with a big swing. Noble. Off to Weddington. Climbs the ladder once again. Haddix tries to dig it, but she can't do so. And Lewis has it down to 1. 14-13 here in set 4. Mackey up to Haddix, near side Brown Morris. Cross court, dug out there by Willis. Weddington with another big swing, and we're even at 14. Bill Farley has to track this one down before it goes underneath the bleachers on the far sideline. 2-1 Rams lead it here in set 4. And a service error gives it back to the Rams. That's one thing Lewis County has not done itself any favors tonight with the service. So now Gracie Reed leading by 1. Good service. And that's going to go down as an ace, as Lunger couldn't play it out of the net. 2-point lead for the Rams here in set 4. That one's out of bounds. 16-15. And Grayson Lunger. Holbrook tries to play it. She can't control it. It's an ace, and we're even at 16. This is a situation of letting a team hang around. Had a chance to close it out in 3 and was not able to do so. And now all of a sudden, Lewis County is trying to force game 5 in this best-of-5 series. Rigsby, a dandy of a serve. Somehow it's scooped up. And Brown Morris, after the ball was lifted up by Willis, rises up with a floater at the net, pushes it back down for the point and a 2-point cushion. So Rigsby, another service. That one's just wide on the side closest to our up official. So Shayla Newman back in for Rigsby. And Kaylin Hamilton will do the service. Down by 1 here in set 4. Brown Morris. Haddix. Here's Wedding at the net with a big swing. Haddix digs it out on the back row. Mackey sends it back up front. Ball touched back over. Diving save, Haddix. Holbrook. Spurlock to Haddix. Leaves it for Brown Morris. And Brown Morris into the face of the net for the error, and we're even at 18. Mackey. Nice dig out of the back row by Newman. It's blocked at the net by Haddix. But they get Raceland in the net. So the point goes to Lewis. Cody Haddix blocked Sarah Page Weddington. So either way, Lewis County in front now 20-19. Here's a cross-court attack. Sent over free ball Lewis. Here's Haddix. Holbrook takes it off to the far side. Scrambling into the bench area is Malone. Haddix leaves it up to Holbrook with the cross-court attack. It's out of bounds. And it's 20-18. And all of a sudden, Lewis County trying to make things interesting here in set 4. Nice save there by Brown Morris. And a point for the Rams as Weddington could not get in position to play it off of the net. Sophie Hale checking back in for Brown Morris, the senior. Here's Weddington. Mackey with a diving save. She can't get there. Point Weddington. And a 2-point lead for the Lions as Weddington will take the ball to the service line, and the senior for the Lions trying to serve out set number 4 and push this to a 5th and deciding set. There's Hale, lifts it toward the rafters. Near side Spurlock. Dug out there by Weddington. Weddington comes up with a big swing. There's Newman. Mackey lofts it across. Noble out of the back row. Mustard out to Weddington. Haddix with a touch at the net. Holbrook with a touch. Mustard goes off to Malone with a big swing. Newman with a dig. Hale with a push on a free ball. Lewis wants it back. Spurlock picks it out. Mackey touches it deep and sends it well out of bounds. Timeout, Raceland. Back in 60 seconds on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Set 4. Lewis County in front 22-19, and Sarah Weddington with the service. Mackey leaves this one back up at the net. It's touched back to her. Here's Haddix near side to Spurlock. Spurlock blocked at the net. Holbrook lofts it across. Mustard off to Malone. There's Haddix. Holbrook. Weddington steps forward. They'll bring it off to her. Hale out of the back row, up to Haddix. A big swing there by Shaylee Holbrook for the point. 22-20. Gracie Reed back on for Mackey. Faith Spurlock trying to keep this from going. Set 5. Noble. Mustered off to Malone with a touch near side. Nice save there by Reed. Haddix comes back off to Reed with a big swing. Dug out there by Weddington. Weddington back with a big attack. Right to Sophie Hale. Reed will touch it across again. Free ball sent over by the Lions, and Lewis is going to push it to the back row and leads this one now 23-20. Lunger back in for Mustard. And Kaya Noble, the libero, for the service. Trying to force this one to set 5. Here's Haddix. Near side, Reed. And it's set point for Lewis County, who trailed this game 2-0. Mackey. Holbrook at the net with a big swing. And a free ball sent back over by the Lions. Here's Weddington. Mackey digs it out. Newman. Free ball by Haddix. Mustard touches it off to Malone on a push. Near side Reed. Blocked at the net. Dug out Holbrook. Tipping it back over. We're headed to set 5. Lions win at 25-20. Set 5 when we return after this on the Cool Hit Sports Network.
Uncle Rick, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay cooler in my man cave.
Well, this is a beer cave, and you can't stay in this cooler forever.
But Clark's Pub and Shop can get you through the dog days of summer.
Whether it's fountain drinks at the lowest price or you're filling up the cooler for the family and friends, Clark's has the widest selection, the best prices, and the most helpful staff you'll find anywhere.
Beat the heat at Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
Does your gas station or convenience store need a facelift? If so, call River City Builders at 473-4112 for your remedy. Big or small projects, River City's Builders is a company for all your needs. We have extensive experience in the petroleum industry, from routine gas dispenser and canopy maintenance to above-ground, underground tank and piping work to full-blown remodels and new builds. Call River City Builders at 473-4112 for all your petroleum needs. We'll cover your back and keep your customers pumping gas.
Back here at the Palace, set 5 coming up, and it's interesting, to say the least, of how this one plays out. So instead of playing to 25, we go to 15. So certainly every point magnified, every mistake magnified at this level, as Raceland led this match 2-0. As you see up in the top left-hand corner of your screen, the match score even now at 2. Rams one set 125-16 and one set 225-20. Back and forth we win in set 3. Lewis County got that one 25-23 and then takes set 4 25-20. Lewis County has done a good job over these last 2 sets of keeping Raceland out of system, and that's where things went so well for the Rams in set 1 and 2. But now we'll have a chance at the top seed for the district tournament, which begins next week up in Vanceburg. A Raceland win, and they are the top seed. They'll play Greenup County. A loss will set Raceland and Lewis County both at 4 and 2 for a coin flip. The winner will play Greenup, the loser will play Russell. Lewis County will serve They've served in sets 1 and 3, so they'll start set 5 off with the service. That allows Weddington to get back on that front line. And it'll start with Abby Malone on the service line. Here we go, first to 15 for a key matchup in the 63rd. Free ball sent over by the Rams. Here's Weddington on the far side pin with a big swing, and that one's out of bounds. So the Rams jump in front 1-0, and that's what you have to do. Take advantage of points given and being able to side out. So now Cody Haddix to the service line for the Rams. And she puts that one into the net, and we're even at 1. The margin of error in this 5th and final set is very, very slim. Free ball sent over by Holbrook. Here's Weddington down the pipe and puts that one in for the point. And Lewis County leads it 2-1. Mackey with a diving attempt there, but couldn't come up with it. Holbrook, Brown Morris on the free ball. Mustard off to Weddington with a big swing and a point. And it's 3-1 Lewis. And it's like the energy is completely gone in the building. Rams need a spark. Mackey, Haddock scrambling. This is a free ball sent back over. Left-handed diving save. Morris sends it back over. They'll touch it back to Weddington with a big swing. There's Haddix. Brown Morris touches it over. They'll leave it up to Weddington and a big swing and a point. And it's 4-1 Lewis. Grayson Lunger back to work. Brown Morris gets it back from Haddix with a big swing through the double block. They get it back off to Weddington, and she's blocked, but she digs. And a point for Lewis. It's 5-1. Bill Farley's seen enough. He needs a timeout. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Ever since set 3, it's just been kind of steady as she goes. Not a whole lot of energy from the Lady Rams after rolling out the first 2 with fair ease. And now they find themselves in a gut-wrenching spot to be in, trailing 5-1 here in set number 5 to decide the match in a set that only goes to 15. You can't afford many more mistakes. Especially with the top seed and the chance to stay away from Russell on the line. Again, Russell has not been the powerhouse they've been in the past, but they're still the champs. So Lunger's ready to go. Sends that one deep, and that's a service error. And a free point for the Rams. Noble back in, Lunger off. So up front now it's Mustard, Hamilton, and Weddington for the Lions, and Reagan Mackey to do the service. Nice save us there by Mackey. And she gets it home for the point, and there's the spark the Rams needed. Weddington tried to slap it across, and somehow Mackey gets a hand on it. It gets a little energy in this Rams team. 5-3, they trail it here in set 5. Good service there, Noble. Mustard takes it off to the far side. Ball sent back up. And Weddington rises up and pushes it down for the point. And the Lions doubling up the Rams here in set 5, 6-3. So now Kaylin Hamilton. And that's a service error. Tried to get it across the top of the tape and couldn't find the mark. So now Shayla Newman will come in for Rigsby, and the senior will go back and try to get her team back in this one. Lewis County gets it over on a free ball by Weddington. Here's Haddix back up to Holbrook. Blocked at the net. Haddix lofts it across. Weddington returns it back to the Rams. Here's Holbrook. Spurlock near side through the double block. Lions keep it alive. Haddix at the net to Holbrook. Again, right to Noble on that back row. Here's Weddington up front with a big swing. And that's a point with a big kill as it goes across the top of the net into the Lewis County bench off of Cody Haddix. 7-4. Lions in front here in set number 5. Trailed 2 games to none in the match. Free ball. Weddington with a big swing, counted as a point, and the Lions halfway home. 8-4, doubling up the Rams here in set 5. Lions trying to pick up 2 key district wins on the road. They beat Russell last week in straight sets, and now trying to sweep it after being behind 2 games to none and get a chance at that number 1 seed. Now Brown Morris helps the cause there with a point on the kill. And she gets the service work for the Rams, down by 3, 8-5 here in this first of 15 and 5th and deciding set. Good service there. Weddington with a push from the back row. Mackey, free ball Holbrook. Mustard off to Malone on a touch. Ball at the net with a joust, and Lewis County wins the joust. That was Amy Lewis. 9-5. And Kaya Noble. Haddix leaves it at the net for Holbrook. Dug out on the far side, Malone. And then Lunger tries to go quick and gets up into the net. So 9-6. Faith Spurlock. She took care of things in set 1. See if she can find that spark back here in set number 5. Deep service. Off to Malone. With a big swing and the point as it goes through the block attempt of Holbrook. And it's 10-6. Lewis County needing 5 more points to close this one out. Rams need a spark and a run. Here's Amy Lewis. Near side Reed with a big swing and a point. 10-7. And Shaylee Holbrook will go back. Off goes Lewis, back in is Willis. Floating service. That one's out of bounds for the ace. 10-8. Rams showing a little moxie here late. Down 4, 10-6. It's now down 2. And an ace as it clips the net and tumbles across. And it's down to 1. Timeout, Lewis County. Wow, what a match we've seen here tonight. Rams look poised to push this one across in straight sets. Lewis County got back into the match. 25-23 in set 3. A back and forth affair in set 4. They won that one 25-20. raced out to a 4-point lead twice in this set, 5-1 and then 10-6. And now the Rams out of the timeout with a chance to serve the tie. Trailing 10-9 here in set number 5. Senior night for the Rams. They need a win here. More importantly, a win and a top seed in the district tournament next week up in Vanceburg. Back we go. Here's Malone. Holbrook out of the back row. Haddix brings it near side. Reed. Reed the cross court. That's deep. And the point goes to Lewis County. 11-9. Now Weddington rotates back up on that front row for the Lions as Malone will go to the back row for the service work. Deep service. Holbrook. Haddix touches it across. They'll leave it off to Weddington, and Weddington pounds it through for the kill. And Lewis County 3 points away from winning 3 straight after being down by 2. And stealing one away here on the road and spoiling the senior night for the Rams. And that's an ace. And the Rams bench cannot believe what it's watching. 13-9. Timeout, Bill Farley. Big thanks to our sponsors tonight, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, where you can return, refresh, and refuel. River Cities Builders and A&A Porta Potties. Again, district tournament next week up in Vanceburg. A Lewis County win will force a coin flip as they will be tied with Raceland at 4-2 in district play, both split on the season. Winner will be the number 1 seed. The loser will be the 2 seed and will play Russell. Greenup County locked in as the 4 seed. And then the following week over Ashland, Paul Blazer High School in the regional tournament. So 13-9, Lewis County 2 points away from stealing one off here on the road and making it back-to-back district wins on the road over the top opponents. Here's a high arcing serve, back row Mackey. Up to Rigsby with a big swing and a point. That one caroms off of the hands and all the way to the wall. That nearly climbed the wall to our cameraman, Hunter Masters. Masters working on the Raceland camera. Sierra Zewald in on the Lewis County camera now, and Cody Haddix with the service work. We'll take it off to Weddington. Weddington rises up. There's Mackey. A push to the back row. Noble bumps it off to Weddington. She'll lob it over on a free ball. Haddix up to Rigsby with a big swing. A ball sent way up. Ball blocked at the net. Trying to save it is Lewis County, and they get it back over. We play on. They'll go back off to Weddington with a big swing for the point, and it's match point for the Lions. 14-10 here in set 5. Lunger thought she was checking out for Mustard. Instead, she's going for the match point service. Here it comes. And that's an ace. Mackey and Brown Morris got tied up on the decision for the placement of the ball. And Lewis County storms from down 2 games to none and wins this one. Final score 3-2. Big thanks to our sponsors, Clark's Pump and Shops of the Tri-State, River Cities Builders, and A&A Porta Potties. Our crew tonight, our executive producer was Lane Lee, our camera operators, Hunter Masters, Brigham Davidson, and Sierra Zewald. So what does that mean now for the district? We'll have a coin flip now for the top seed in the 63rd between Lewis and Raceland. Both are at 4-2. Winner of the coin flip will play Greenup County in the 1-4 matchup. The loser will play Russell as the 2 versus 3. So we see how things work out with this one, but certainly a very stunning outcome on this one after the Rams looked like they had it in the back pocket. Instead, the Lewis County Lions steal it away and make things a little more interesting in the upcoming district tournament next week over in Vanceburg. Lions win it here tonight, 15-10 in set 5 and 3-2 in the match. For Lane Lee, Hunter Masters, Brigham Davidson, and Sierra Zewald, I'm James Carr. Thanks for watching another broadcast here on the Kuwait Sports Network, and have a good evening. Good night, everyone.